Thursday, November 4th, 2008, the day that Barack Obama goes head-to-head with John McCain in the US presidential election. Well, here's a lady who always has to be out front in the opinion polls. It's Carol McGiffin. Ray certainly picked a winner when he put an X in her box. It's Colleen Nolan. She says she's reached the dreaded 4-0, but looking this good, I demand a recount. It's Sunita. And making sure the show produces a fair result by 1:30, it's me, Jackie Brambles. In the Loose Lounge today, two fine gentlemen. He was one of the key stars of the classic comedy sketch series, The Fast Show. That's the hysterically dry Mr. Simon Day. And he is the American soul legend who's bringing the boogie back to Britain. That's Alexander O'Neill. Coming up today, as a new test is developed that can predict when a woman will go through the menopause. Sorry, Carol, had to say the word. We're asking, would you want to know? And would it affect your decisions as to when you might have children? But before all that, as you may have noticed, and as I mentioned in our introductions, there is an election taking place today. Yep, the Americans are going to the polls in one of the tightest presidential races ever, with both candidates, John McCain and Barack Obama, calling on all US citizens to get out there and use their votes. So are we interested in events across the pond? And how important is your own right to vote?
I have my passport. I will be going down
to vote. We have a US citizen amongst
today,
us.
and I'm so excited.
You can vote at the embassy,
at the American embassy. Yes, you can vote at the American embassy, people.
If you've got an American passport.
If you've got an American passport.
And try if you haven't. Have you always voted, though?
Do you know what? It's the first time I voted, because I can't vote in England because I was born in America and have an American passport. But this is the first time I've really felt so passionate about someone. You know, he's young, he's a great orator, he's intelligent.
So you vote for John McCain, then?
Oh, yes. Yeah, definitely for Obama. And I just think he's a great leader in that he'll really lead change in people's mindsets. It's great for black people all over the world, people's perception of them, their perception of themselves.
Do you think he'll pull it off, then, do you reckon?
Oh, I'm just praying. I mean, people are saying that it's
getting much closer, isn't it? Yep, it is, absolutely.
Well, I hope so too, but somehow I think he might just get pipped at the post.
Do you?
I really envy Americans, actually, for all of this, because it's so exciting, and it really is. It's like a proper race. It goes on for a long, long time, and, you know, and they really get into it, and everybody cares, and I think the reason for that is because they have a proper political divide, don't they?
Oh,
you know,
huge.
that you're either that or you're that, and that's great. I love that. You're not always going to agree with everything one of them says, but here, oh, it depresses me intensely, because the political line's just blurred now. Everybody says the same thing, and none of them mean it. None of them means...
Is it still important to vote, though, to use
your
vote?
Well, I do think it is. I still think it is, you know, and I'll constantly look at it over and over again to try and find something that I believe in on either side, because I just think if you've got a vote, you should use it, because there are people in the world who don't have that right, and I think it's absolutely tragic. If we didn't have a vote, you know, it would be awful, and we've got one, and we should use it. And I think it's a really dangerous situation when there are so many people who just go, oh, I don't really care, they're all the same. Yes, they are all the same, and it's difficult even for me, but, you know, I'll find something. When the time comes, I'll find something.
Right. I think you've hit the nail on the head, though, because, as you said, everyone here is so samey. It's very hard to discern what one party believes from the other party believes. And they seem to flip-flop and change all the time.
They all try to please all the people all the time.
But in America, you know, there are sort of such distinct beliefs. There's religion comes into it. You know, the abortion is huge over there.
The right and left.
The right to have a gun. And you know, everybody has a very strong opinion one way or the other. So it's always very clear who your candidate is, and I'm feeling a bit frustrated. I covered the last two US elections, and a bit frustrated that I'm not out there doing this one, because it's so exciting.
It is.
And what about your right to vote, young lady?
I'm so excited. I'm actually more excited about the American election, actually. I have been swept up in that, and I do like the way the Americans are, that they all do genuinely get into it and make a decision. You know, there's a guy at the hotel I was staying at last night went out jogging this morning, came back and said to the concierge, where's the American embassy, because I need to go and get my vote in. And I thought, God, I wonder if anyone English over in America on election day would bother voting for someone back in England.
Or indeed go jogging.
Or indeed go jogging.
They should.
But I have to say, and Carol's probably going to scream at me here, but I am one of those people that I haven't voted, and it's...
Whatever.
Not really, no.
Well, you have an X Factor.
Women died for you.
I vote on a Saturday in X Factor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you vote for Simon.
Yeah, she votes on the X Factor. That just says it all, doesn't it? That just says everything that you need to know.
Let me clarify what I mean. You're saying you should vote. Whatever, you should go and vote, right? I can't grasp why I should go and vote for people I don't particularly... Well, I just don't believe in. I think they spin me a load of twaddle, and they always do, and they never come up with what you voted for. And so I don't vote for them because... And I think it's wrong to just go and go, oh, well, I'll just vote for anyone, there's a tick. Because what if we all do that and the wrong person gets in? You know what I mean? You can't just vote for anyone. If you don't believe in someone, it's very difficult for me to go and say, I'll go and vote for him because I don't like any of them.
But it is difficult.
That's wrong.
It's difficult to get interested. I agree with you, but you have to, because if you end up in a country where nobody cares and nobody votes, that's a really dangerous situation.
I'm very interested, but I want them to follow through in things that I believe in, you know. And I think no matter who we vote for,
do you look into
and
it?
we always think, I'll vote for him because he's saying what I want him to do, and then they don't do it. It's like, you know, I just think that ultimately, although we have the right to vote,
I wonder if it comes
I don't
as well.
know how much they listen to us. I don't think they listen to us anyway. So I think although we can go and tick a piece of paper,
So
we
you
can't
think
really
not
make a
voting
decision.
is going to have more
It's a
effect if you
world.
don't vote?
But I think perhaps a lot of it has to do with, you know, how much you were exposed to perhaps as a child and how interested you are as you grow up. There's been a new survey, actually, that's come out. We obviously know the election is making a huge impact on the American public, including young people. But this new survey has revealed that exposing kids to news events may not always be a positive thing. 8 out of 10 youngsters say they find life too complicated when they're exposed earlier and earlier to adult concerns such as global warming, health scares, and of course the credit crunch. So what you're saying that you're not inspired now. Do you think it's because you weren't particularly interested as a child, or it wasn't talked about?
That I wasn't interested. You know, my family were very interested. My dad was very interested, and my brothers and all of that. But when I was very much younger, and I don't think they needed me to worry about things like that. And I understand that because kids nowadays are bombarded with, you know, media things about, you know, the world's going to end and global warming and wars. And I know that Jake, my 16-year-old, he worries all the time.
Does he? What about what he sees on the news?
Oh, what he sees on the news. He's like, Mum, you know, all the trees are being cut down and the world will end if we've no trees. And what if there's a war and there was a bomb went off? Why is there so many bombs going off? What if it happens here? And then I get back, he stays with me on a Monday night at the hotel. And I get in and he's got CNN on all night. And I'm going, will you turn it off? Because he lies there all night then going, what if that happens to us and what can we do? And I just think, just be a kid. Stop worrying.
Well, he likes being scared, obviously.
Just be
you know, these are all scare stories.
He takes it all in. And actually, if you read
You've got to tell him they're
you
scare
do sit there and kind of go...
It can make you very anxious.
Oh, God, you know, if I eat this, I'm going to get cancer. If I don't eat that, I'm going to get cancer, you know. I'm going to die.
It's up to you to reassure him, then, isn't it? And just say, look, you know, don't believe everything you read or hear on the telly or in the newspaper.
Were you encouraged to read about, like, you know, world events when you were a kid?
Well, no, but I had an interest in it because I remember, you know, I was brought up in the 70s, which were fairly hellish politically. You know, we had with the socialists, and then we had the conservatives, and we had the 3-day week, and strikes, and the unions, and everything. It was hideous. You know, no power, living by candlelight, and all that. It was pretty terrible. So it was really, really important then. And as a child, 10 years old, I remember in 1970 when I think Edward Heath got in, and I remember coming downstairs and my mum's boyfriend at the time was sitting down there in front of, you know, this little oil heater because there was no power, and he just went, oh, well, that's good, they won. And there was like elation. I mean, there was a lot of it. It didn't work out again, and then he lost out to Callaghan, and then, you know, so on. But I do remember thinking, oh, that's good. But I was 10 years old and I didn't know why. But I think that kind of sparked an interest, and I've always been quite interested in it, and I've always wanted to play a part. Because as soon as I got to 18, I was really excited that I can vote. I can make a difference, and I did.
That sits here and constantly goes on about how much you hate hate the government.
Well, I do.
But when you're
I do
little- when you're
hate
little-
them. I hate what they've done to this country. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I will
When
use
you-
my vote to try and, you know, change
Bring in
things and
another
get
rubbish
them
one.
out. Well, yes, but you know, you can't just ignore it. You can't just pretend that there's nothing. You can't do anything about it. You've got to at least.
Are you going to stay up tonight and watch the whole thing
I'm
unravel?
going to stay up. I'm going to stay up. I was going to say, when I was little, my mother was in this musical Hair, which was all about the opposition to the Vietnamese War and everything, and it was peace, love, happiness. And I grew up in that environment, so from a very young age I was very anti-war and wanting the world to be an all-inclusive place, all races, all communities joining together. So you do, you know, you're saying about your little boy, when you're little you do really take it on and you stop being frightened about the world.